Staff, Attorney Fuentes docs, number 79657. What my client, Mr. Sean Glover.
Morning. Your name?
Deshaun Glover.
All right. What are we doing today?
Your Honor, I am going to ask for another PCC. I know I didn't fill out this.
He didn't fill out the form.
I didn't fill out
He
the
was just
form.
gonna march up here.
And I was told
he was
to.
just gonna march up here and just do it. And I'm supposed to just not. He marched up. He came up. He said, "I'm not following that rule. I don't care what that judge says." He was saying all that. I could hear it all the way up here saying that. And then
Your Honor, I would like to address bond.
how much time did you need, counsel?
Your Honor, I would just need a short adjournment, 2 weeks.
Sure,
is fine.
2 weeks, all right. Probable cause conference will be adjourned December 5th, 2024, 9 a.m. Yes, as to bound.
Yeah, Your Honor, as to bond, Your Honor, I spoke with his mom. They have retained counsel. Obviously, you know the requirements. He's not going to be a flight risk, Your Honor. This is my client works with his uncle. I can verify the company. He does landscaping. They're doing snow removal right now, and we're asking for a lower bond, Your Honor. If we can even do house arrest, that's fine for right now for my client.
Response from the people.
It's threefold. One out of Taylor for $400, one out of Flint for $3,000, and one out of Genesee for $500. He has 2 prior convictions for fleeing third, one from 2010, one from 2015, a prior conviction for R&O. Beyond that, the nature of this case is concerning in and of itself. The charging ETA on this actually requested a $500,000 cash security for $150,000. In this particular case, the defendant went to the Comfort Inn to have sex with the victim. The defendant and the victim got into an argument, after which the defendant chased the victim with his car and almost ran her over. Law enforcement arrived on scene and observed the defendant's vehicle and observed the victim exit the vehicle and enter the hotel. On contact with law enforcement, the defendant admitted to chasing the victim in the parking lot, but denied hitting her. When the law enforcement contacted the victim, she was visibly distraught and expressed fear of speaking out against the defendant because of potential retaliation concerns. The victim advised that she previously tried to leave the defendant, but he wrecked his car, and when she tried to get her own apartment, the defendant showed up with a baseball bat and began breaking things. And then after he was breaking things, he said, "Are you still leaving?" The victim also advised that the defendant has quote unquote people who will hurt her if she speaks out against the defendant. I mean, at this point, I'm significantly concerned. I think bond is lower than we originally asked for. I understand it's high, but I don't think reduction is appropriate.
Your Honor, as an officer of the court, actually, I think the victim,
Pardon?
she has called me 2-3 times, and they were in a relationship, dating relationship, Your Honor. So that was his girlfriend, and it still is his girlfriend. So I'm not exactly sure what the nature of the victim and what the sister counsel is referring to, but that is my client's girlfriend. They've been in a relationship for a couple of years, Your Honor, and she has called me as recently as today as to try to advocate for my client.
I think given the statements that she made to law enforcement, it's pretty clear potentially why she would be motivated to do that if she has concerns about retaliation, if she were to participate or do anything other than advocate for the defendant. So I don't think that a release would necessarily be advantageous for anyone.
And Your Honor, if I may, we can ask.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to put in quotation marks victim. She was willing to come to court today. I just advised not to, just as a air of impropriety, but she can appear in court, and obviously she can tell you freely what her intentions and fear of repercussions are in person.
Well, I guess I hear what you're saying, counsel, but I guess it could happen. I'm trying to reconcile count 2 as charged with the statement of the relationship of the parties.
And how long have you been dating?
For nearly 2 years now, sir. Okay, but I guess what I'm getting at is that charge count two is the transportation of a person across state lines to assist in prostitution. And that individual named it.
Yeah, and we are miffed with that.
Pardon?
That we're confused why that was charged, and for the nature, it has nothing to do with any of the police report had anything to do with prostitution or anything like that. Even the victim herself didn't state that she was there to do that. We were just confused and surprised, Your Honor, by that. And obviously talking with her, that she's mentioned to me several times with her talking with her mom, his mom. She's called me several times. I said this morning, and took his car when the incident happened, drove it back to Flint, Your Honor. So this is not what that police report alleges.
Well, then I'm going to need some further clarification on that before I do anything regarding bond on this. So at this juncture, I'm going to deny the request for.
And I'll have her in 2 weeks, Your Honor, have her here. Thank you.
Thank you. She's back.
Your Honor, Hannah Mackey appearing on behalf of Mr. Wade, who's appearing to my right. Mr. Wade, please state your name for the record.
Beyond Wade.
All right, he's waiving exam.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, you're waiving your right to a preliminary examination?
Yes, sir.
You understand that that's a proceeding where the people would have to show by probable cause that the offense alleged was committed and that you committed it.
Yes, sir.
You understand that you'll not have that hearing and you'll proceed to circuit court for further resolution.
Yes, sir.
People also waive the right. Preliminary examination having been waived, defendants bound over to circuit court on the single count.
Your Honor, we acknowledge receipt of information, waive formal reading, and my client will stand mute.
Defendant having waived formal reading, standing mute, court will enter not guilty plea. Pretrial will be set before
December 3rd at 1:30 p.m. with Judge Combs.
December 3rd, 2024, 1:30.
Thank you. Your Honor, may I quickly address bond?
Why not? Everybody else says yes.
Pardon?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Your Honor, in this case, bond is set for $10,000 with 10% bond for which Mr. Wade can't afford. The client does advise that he has a bed at Delonis Center and he is willing to do a GPS tether. He's not intending on going anywhere as he had just started his probation and he is seeking employment. On this matter, probation has given him 2 PR bonds on the circuit court matters, which should speak to their assessment of flight risk and danger to the community.
Who is giving him that?
The circuit court. On the circuit court matters, he was given by probation 2 PR bonds.
Was he?
He was.
Oh,
And that should speak to
that should say what to me?
that they think that he would not be a flight risk,
Really?
yes, or a danger to the community.
Oh. When did he get those PRs?
In circuit court,
You don't know when?
I do not.
That'd be a no. So why is he locked up then? There anything unfair as to my questions? Why is he locked up on this case? If he has PRs on the circuit court matters, why is he in custody?
Your Honor, I believe,
Crickets.
Your Honor, I believe that there was a violation incident because of these charges in the circuit court. They let him out on PR. There, as a result of this pending matter, we're asking for his release on this case as a result of that. And he was
What?
he got probation violations as a result of this charge, Your Honor. The circuit court gave him PRs on their matters.
On the violations?
On the violation.
Is that the people's understanding?
I don't know, I'm trying to get through his 26-page criminal history, but if I'm understanding correctly, the full cap of $1,000 on this case, he asked just for an in-custody date so we can get all the matters before Judge Kunke and I don't think a PR bond is appropriate. The allegations in this case are that the defendant was masturbating in front of a female corrections officer. So if he's certainly willing to do that in custody, I do believe that he could be a danger to the community if he's out of custody. And if he doesn't have anywhere to live, I don't know.
Your Honor, he has a bed at Delana Center, if I may. And he is willing to do GPS tether.
Well, he has a bed there?
Yes.
You can, as long as it's not home confinement.
Well, I understand that, but so when this, so why was he in custody
Before this
to
happened.
even be able to commit this offense?
Is it my understanding, Mr. Word, that you were you waiting on getting a PSI done?
This case is from February when I was locked up.
And you were locked up in February because of the cases that are before the circuit court now?
Because of the cases that was PR bond to me.
Because what?
Because of the cases that was
Yes.
PR bond.
The circuit court matters, Your Honor.
So these offenses he committed while on
While I was in
bond, but while he was incarcerated on another case.
yeah. And they didn't charge me with it until I just recently
Thank
got locked up.
And Your Honor, he was arraigned on October 28th before Judge Slay. He had the hearing before Judge Conkey, who then gave him a PR, and that was on the date of 10/31. So he's had a PR on those matters. And it's just in on this.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's gonna be up before. I don't think it's appropriate to let him out on a PR given the circumstances, but I'm sure Judge Conkey may feel differently having given him PR on the probation violation. So I'm gonna deny the request at this time, and you can take it up with Judge Conkey.
Okay.
Bond
Your
will
Honor.
continue.
Ramirez said
All right, I'll go ahead and break loose there. How's everybody doing today? We had a good long time in Judge Fleischer's court today. We had a good weekend come through. It got a little slow yesterday. I got to go see my son graduate from rehab, which was great. He's in town right now setting up with the new probation office, and he'll be home today. And that'll be the first time I think 3 or 4 years he's been legally home. So I'm really happy for that. Thank you guys for all y'all's support on that. I had to throw in some Judge Simpson there. Judge Fleischer hung out for a long time today and kind of had me running over. I kind of got a little worried that we weren't going to get to do it. But I was able to get it. I was able to get it processed. Kathy knows what I'm talking about whenever I'm saying it took forever to process it. And so she completely understands that part. We're going to jump into Judge Fleischer today. He had a lot going on. So y'all jump in and be sure to put all your comments in there. Brecken, thank you so much, Brecken, for doing that interview. I've got that up on the channel. And Brecken, what I was referring to was that me at the beginning of the video. I can see my eyes wandering. I can see my eyes looking all around the screen, looking everywhere except for where I need to be. And so it was a great interview. It was a great interview. I truly appreciate you doing that. I appreciate you opening up and being so honest about it. It helped me understand a lot about it because in the end, I don't know much about that. A lot of the stuff that you described, it seems to me like just everyday life things that people deal with, but you have it on a magnifying glass, and that makes life a challenge. And so I really appreciate you putting that on there. So we're going to jump into Judge Fleischer today. Make sure to put all the comments you can in there. Make sure to get it out of your system. Today was a crazy day in the chat room. People saying the dangest things. So get it out here. This is where you get it out. Don't get it out over there. It was a record-breaking day. Nan, she broke the record on deleting more, banning more. Nan's a terrorist when it comes to that. So make sure to thank her in the comments. Let's see if we can't jump to that.
Thanks. Ms. Bison, probable cause has written.
Staff, Attorney Fuentes, docs.
Thanks. Ms. Bison, probable cause has already been found on your cases. You now know we mean business. We're not here to play games. We take bond conditions extremely serious. And when you don't, and when you flaunt the rules, we have.
I forgot. I need to make sure to, Lindsay, thank you. You rock. Thank you so much for the gifted memberships. Also, Idaho Wiggles, thank you so much for the gifted memberships. Y'all did it at the beginning, and I get distracted easily, so I certainly do appreciate it. It's great to see the community growing. We've only had this channel monetized for I guess we're going on 3 weeks now, and we've got a pile of members. It's very encouraging and very humbling, and I greatly appreciate it. Here we go, Judge Fleischer.
Jails here for you. I'm now making it a condition of your bond that you're not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. And I'm now going to put a scram ankle monitor on you so I know that you're not consuming alcohol at any time. Be careful what you put in your body. I don't care what you come up here saying that you have that made it go positive. I don't care if it's makeup, hair dye, a tequila lollipop, cakes, candies, foods, gums, whatever it may be. You test positive, I'm going to put you in, and this time I will triple, if not quadruple the bond. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
No alcohol, no drugs. You're going to be randomly tested. You'll also have this scram ankle monitor. No going to any bars, clubs, places that 51% or more of alcohol is sold. Do you understand? I'm going to have you sign a reset, and then we're going to have you take a seat in the jury box. We'll wait for your lawyer to get here, and then we'll have a speak with him, and that's it.
All right, Judge. Next.
Rosalba Fuentes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Fuentes, you're charged with assault of a family member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
Yes,
No.
Judge. On November 17, 2024, the officer was dispatched to a residence in Harris County, Texas, in reference to a past assault. The officer made contact with the victim, who stated that he was separated from the defendant and had been staying at a different location for the time being, and that on that day, the defendant, he told the defendant he was going to come by the residence to pick up his firearm. The CW, the complainant, said that while they were inside the residence, the defendant handed him an empty firearm box. However, she was holding the firearm in her hand with a holster. The complainant said the defendant did not threaten with or point the firearm at him, but would not give him the firearm, so he decided to leave, and she blocked him at the front door. The complainant stated that he then decided to leave through the garage, at which time the defendant blocked him again, and the complainant said he was finally able to leave, and then grabbed the firearm from the defendant, who then struck him in the right side of his face with her hand. The complainant informed the officer that he felt pain.
Okay. And I think if you said that they were on the outs, right?
I apologize.
As far as
If they were separated.
relationship, it's on the outs?
Yeah, they were separated.
Okay. Ms. Fuentes, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. There is a protective order that has been issued in this case. I would get to know it. If you do something to violate the protective order, the state can and will file additional charges against you. They'll file a violation of protective order, and then it'll go sideways real quick. I'm ordering you not to have any contact with this person, not to be in possession of weapons. As long as you can abide by these conditions, you and I will be fine. Otherwise, I'm going to lock you up. All I wanted to do is protect my county, and I'll do it by however any means. You understand? Okay. Do you mind filing no contact and no weapons?
Yes, sir.
What do you do for a living, Ms. Fuentes?
Excuse me.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a provider. I take care of my mom.
You do what?
I'm a health.
So home health care.
Yes, sir.
And how much money do you make from that?
I work 29 hours a week.
On average, how much are you making today?
Monthly, like 200.
Do you have any children? Do you have any other sources of income? Did you want to apply for an appointed lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me see. I have one already. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and grant it. I'm gonna have you speak with Victoria. We're gonna have you sign a reset. After that, I'll have you take your seat in the jury box. Remember, if he calls you, don't answer the phone. If he texts you, do not reply. If he comes to your house, don't open the door. You're not to go within the address listed in this order for protection. If you do, you're going to end up in jail. And I don't know who you have in your life, but if I make your bond 10,000 and you don't have anyone to pony up that kind of money, you'll be stuck like Chuck in there until this thing is over with. So take care when you're out there.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Understand.
please.
Thank you.
Dominic Martinez. Mr. Martinez, you're charged with assault of a family member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you. Oh. Looks like he just picked up a DWI.
Yes, Judge.
He's been on bond for an assault of a family member, and now he picked up a DWI second.
It was just filed on the 21st of this.
Going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you, sir.
Probable cause on the DWI or?
Yeah.
On November 21st of 2024, the officer observed a motor vehicle traveling eastbound in Harris County, Texas, weaving in and out of its lane. The officer observed the vehicle to cross over the traffic line dividers with its driver's side tires, and the officer then ran the vehicle's license plate through NCIC and observed the registration to be expired as of September 2024. The traffic stop was initiated, and the officer made contact with the driver, the defendant. The officer was handed a Texas ID, not a driver's license, and upon researching this, the officer found that the driver's license of the defendant was not eligible and that he had an outstanding warrant. Furthermore, the officer noted the prevalent odor of an alcoholic beverage emanating from inside the vehicle, and the officer observed droopy eyelids and the defendant to have poor coordination in looking for his wallet. The defendant was removed from his vehicle, and the officer further noted slurred speech, red, glassy, watery, bloodshot eyes, and the smell of a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage. The officer noted that the defendant's speech was also very dry and that the defendant had cotton mouth, and the officer observed the defendant burp and could smell, furthermore, odor of an alcoholic beverage, even more prevalent. The defendant stated he was coming from a local bar where he had consumed 3 Michelob Ultra beers when asked about the smell of alcohol, and the defendant stated that he had been drinking and told the officer, "Take me, I'll take it, that's fine," referring to him being taken to jail. Standard field sobriety tests were conducted, HGN 6 out of 6, and walk and turn was not performed as the defendant began arguing with the officer, stating that he was falsely accused last time he did the test. The defendant refused to use an imaginary line and further refused the testing. DIC was read, and the defendant refused. A blood search warrant was signed and executed.
Was this an open to be? Was he on bond for this case, for the assault? And he pick up a DWI? Had we put conditions on him not to consume? Had we done anything with the assault and then he pick up a DWI?
The assault family member was a 2B for a few months. There was an open warrant for a few months before it was on.
Martinez, let's go through some of your history here. Since 21, DWI, interference, another DWI, and now in 24, another assault and another DWI. I want you to do, and I want you to understand something and hear me clear, Mr. Martinez. I will do everything in my power to protect my county at all costs. Take note, because I'm putting a whole host of conditions on you now, and if I find that you violate this, I will deem you a public danger, put you in jail, and make your bond so high you will have teeth falling out. Do you understand? You are not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. You will be signing an affidavit with me today promising you're not going to drive. I don't care what is going on in your life. Do not drive. If you do, I can have a contempt hearing. You'll be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you get into a car.
Yes.
Tell me about the assault, please.
Yes, Judge. So for the assault, the complainant and the defendant are in a dating relationship, and on September 28th, 2024, the officer was dispatched to a physical disturbance in Harris County, Texas, where the officer spoke with the complainant, who stated that she and the defendant began to argue. The complainant stated she wanted to leave, and while walking out, the defendant struck her with an open hand to her right cheek. The complainant stated she fell to the ground. The complainant then went to her car, saying she was going to call 911. The defendant followed her, asking if she was really calling 911, before then fleeing the scene. The officer observed the complainant's cheek to be red and swollen.
Alcohol a factor? Do you know?
There's no allegations, Your Honor.
Mr. Martinez, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I am now ordering you not to drive, and I'm giving you a curfew. I'm giving you a curfew of 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. that you're not allowed to go out. On one ankle, I will put a GPS monitor. On your other ankle, I'm going to put a scram monitor so I know that you're not consuming alcohol. You violate any of these conditions, life will not go well for you. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
Can you file orders for a guardian interlock? I am also now ordering you not to drive any vehicle that doesn't have a guardian interlock. We are sending notice to DPS now. So if you're caught driving a vehicle and it doesn't have an interlock on it, every officer will know about it, and hopefully they will put you into custody. If not, somehow, my magic ball, I will find it, and I'm going to find you, and it's not going to go well. Do you understand?
Yes.
We're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. So I'll first have you swear to us that you're not going to get into a car, sign a reset with Victoria, and then you'll get with Felicia for your bond conditions. Don't pick up a third case.
Yes.
Are you doing the more?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Come back. I forgot.
GPS and Scram, how long would you like for those?
Today.
Today.
With the assault case, I am entering what's called a magistrate's order for emergency protection that identifies Ms. Gonzalez as a protected individual. You cannot commit family violence or an assault against this person. Commit an act in furtherance of an offense under section 42.07 of the Texas Penal Code, which is the stalking statute. You cannot threaten, harass, use another person to communicate a threat or harassing behavior. You cannot go within 200 feet of where she lives, where she works.
She's not fiance now, sir. And now, so now
Not
just
have any
move.
contact with
Just
her
move.
until
Keep
I
my
know that she does. So I'm gonna have her, if she's here, we can have her talk to the DAs.
I might get her here. That's fine.
Just, I don't want you to say anything, Mr. Martinez. You're in enough as it is now. Just don't. Until I know that she wants to have
we live
contact
together
with
now,
you.
so that's why I want to know, do I need to get my stuff today and go?
I'm entering this order for protection today. You cannot go back at this point until I know that they have contact with her. I mean, we have a full house today. Here in a
I
bit,
just don't want to, yeah, I don't want to mess up. That's why I asked. Okay.
in a bit, I can have them reach out to her to see what her position is.
Yes.
But regardless, I want you to understand, no threatening or harassing contact.
No, no.
What is threatening or harassing doesn't matter what you think, it's what she perceives. So is that threatening, harassing? It is. So be careful. All right, I'll have you sign all the documents and then we'll just have you take a seat in the jury box. THA.
So Zach asked, have I weathered the freezing cold snap this morning? No, I got up and my phone said it was 47 degrees outside. I was going to take the dog for a walk while listening to Court Vibes at stream this morning. Nope. Too bad. Dog didn't get to go for a walk. I'm not going out at 47 degrees in the morning. It ain't happening. And so, nope. Too cold for Florida. I don't know why 47 was allowed.
Divorcio Nazario.
Okay, she was asking.
Say page 28. Are you? Shh. Are you Eduardo Divorcio Nazario?
Yes.
So you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
Yes, Judge. Officer was dispatched to meet Houston Fire Department call. Houston Fire Department advised the defendant was observed sitting in a moving lane of traffic in the driver's seat of the vehicle. Houston Fire Department Further advised, the defendant had open and closed containers of alcohol in a cooler. The defendant admitted to drinking and driving, and a real witness observed the defendant driving.
So he actually has alcohol in the car while he's driving?
Your Honor, it's in a cooler. I don't know where the cooler is at this time. I can look into that in a moment. And the defendant was observed to have slurred speech, red bloodshot eyes, and a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage, in addition to swaying side to side. Standard field sobriety tests were conducted. HGN, 6 out of 6. Walk and turn, 7 out of 8. One leg stand, 4 out of 4. The DIC was red, and the defendant consented to draft. The results were 0.125, 0.120.
Sir, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Tell me, are you a United States citizen?
She's not a citizen. He does not have a driver's license.
Okay. Are you in this country with or without permission?
Without permission.
What happens if you go to jail, Mr. Nazario?
In Nazario. I would leave my family.
What else?
And I have 4 children. I work.
I want you to understand that immigration sweeps the jail on a daily basis, sir. And if immigration finds you in custody, they're going to put a detainer on you and you will remain in custody until this case is over with and then shipped off to immigration. If you do not want that to happen, do not violate any of the conditions that I set on you now. You do not have a Texas driver license, therefore you are not allowed to drive. I'm making that a condition of your bond, as well as not consuming alcohol or illegal drugs or unprescribed controlled medication. You will be randomly tested. If I find that you're consuming alcohol, if I find so much that you drive, I will put you in jail. And if you are unlucky enough, you're going to be there for an extremely long time. Do you understand?
Yes.
Imagine if you go to jail for 6 to 8 months, who's going to take care of the wife and the kids? Probably someone you don't like. Consider that when you're out there in the free world. You have a lawyer. It is your responsibility to stay in touch with them, and they will tell you when you have to come back to court. If they tell me that they cannot get a hold of you because you're playing games, likewise, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. I'm not asking much. I'm just asking you to follow the law. So I will have you come up here, swear test you're not going to drive. I'll have you sign the reset with Victoria. You'll get with your bond conditions with Miss Felicia, and then you're free to go.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Have a good week.
Judge, next Spanish arraignment is page 16. Leon, come on up.
Hey, how many do we have Spanish?
3 in total.
Okay.
Good morning, Your Honor. How are you today? Sadillo for a second, Your Honor.
Más al frente, conteste a voz alta, por favor.
Carlos Leon.
Carlos Leon.
Yes.
Mr. Leon, you're charged with driving while intoxicated, second offense. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. The officer conducted a traffic stop in Harris County, Texas, after observing.
Lower your voices. No talking in the back.
Traffic stop was conducted after officer observed the defendant had an expired registration and was impeding traffic. Upon contact, the officers observed watery, bloodshot eyes, a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage, and disorientation. The officer asked to conduct standard field sobriety tests. The defendant initially consented, but then withdrew consent. The DIC was read and breath was consented to. The results were 0.135 and 0.136.
What's the stop for?
Expired registration, and he was impeding traffic.
Placas vencidas, estaba impidiendo el tráfico.
Okay, Mr. Leon, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Tell me, are you a United States citizen?
Ciudadano de Estados Unidos.
No.
Are you in this country with or without permission?
Sin permiso.
Without permission.
What happens if you go to jail, Mr. Leon?
Irme para mi país.
I'd have to go to my country.
You're going to sit in custody for about 8 to 9 months waiting for that to happen.
Meses esperando.
Don't violate these conditions. Otherwise, I'm going to lock you up. If I find that you're a danger to my public, I have only one place for you. I'm ordering you now not to drive any vehicle whatsoever for any reason. I'm putting a restriction that you're not to drive any vehicle that doesn't have a guardian interlock. Since you don't have a license, you're not allowed to drive. You will take a portable handheld device with you everywhere you go to prove to us that you're not consuming alcohol. Likewise, you will go to jail. You drive, then you're looking at another additional up to 6 months in jail every time you drive. Mr. Alone, this life is a short one. It's not fun to spend 6 months in a box. So heed this warning. You will not get another one. You have a lawyer. It is your responsibility to stay in touch with him, and he will tell you when you have to come back to court.
Cuando tiene que regresar a la corte.
I'm going to have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive. I will get you to Victoria where you will sign a reset. After that, you'll get with Felicia for your bond conditions. Then you are free to go. Counsel, please admonish him accordingly as bond conditions, because I don't want to have to lock him up. Okay, all right, good luck to you, Mr. Leon.
Pase con su
Right,
abogado.
Judge, next is page 12, Gonzalez, Guillermo.
Yeah, so.
Hi, Sylvia.
This one's for, an arraignment.
Got it. And what's the last name?
Page 12, Gonzalez.
This is the one that you approached on a while
Your
ago,
Honor,
right?
this
And
is
he's finally out.
my son that was in ICE custody.
Got it. Good morning, Mr. Gonzalez Pena. Good morning.
Buenos días.
I'm going to tell you now that of all the people that get sent to immigration, I can count on one hand
Una mano.
those that are able to get out of ICE custody. You are now out. Make the most of it. Because I'm going to tell you, you probably paid quite a bit just to get out. If you violate these conditions, if the immigration judge deems that you're a danger to the public, they're going to yank that bond and you will go back into immigration custody and you're not going to get another one. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I am ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. You will also sign an affidavit that you're not to drive. If you do not have a Texas driver license and liability insurance, then you're not to drive. As long as you can abide by these conditions and you remain in contact with Sylvia, we will all be happy. Our primary concern is public safety. That's all we're concerned about. If you violate that, same thing's gonna happen to you. I'm gonna have you come up here, swear to us that you're not gonna drive. I'll get you to Victoria to sign a reset. After that, we'll get to you, Felicia, for your bond conditions, and after that, you guys are free to go. Okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thanks. All right, guys, take care. Yes, ma'am.
Happy Thanksgiving.
You too.
All right, Judge, next is
Kathy, that's funny. You mentioned a covered bridge that she can live under. I watched that movie Beetlejuice the other day, and they've got a covered bridge in the movie, and all I kept thinking about was Centerville, Michigan, Judge Middleton and his little town with a little covered bridge. So you mentioned little bridges. They don't have those down here. We would have semi trucks trying to go through the little covered bridges, and it'd tear everything up. So we don't get to have that. Yeah, Beverly talking about Pennsylvania and West Virginia have the little covered bridges. We don't have them here. We have to watch a movie if we want to see a covered bridge.
speaker, page 17, Maldonado, come on up.
Esta voz alta, un poco más al frente.
Are you Gracie Patricia Maldonado Varela?
Yes.
Ma'am, you're charged with assault of a family member. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
On November 18th, 2024, the officer was dispatched to an assault in progress to a residence in Harris County, Texas. The complainant stated that he had been in a 2-year dating relationship with the defendant, but that he is not married to the defendant. The complainant further stated that they do reside together. The complainant stated that he arrived at the apartment complex to drop off his brother, then met with a witness who arrived, who parked her vehicle next to his at the apartment complex. The complainant got into the passenger side of the witness's vehicle as the witness sat in the driver's side, and he observed the defendant in their white Chevrolet pickup approaching the parking lot. The complainant got out of the witness's vehicle after observing the defendant's facial expressions. The defendant blocked the witness's vehicle with her white pickup, then stepped out of her vehicle. The defendant approached the complainant and open hand slapped the left side of his face, causing him to feel pain. The defendant then grabbed a hold of the front collar of the complainant's black t-shirt and used force to pull it forward, causing her to rip it as it rubbed on the left and right side of his neck.
Tenía una marca rojiza en el lado izquierdo de su cuello.
The defendant then struck the complainant's chest with a closed fist. The complainant stated that he did not feel pain when his chest was struck, and the complainant stated that the defendant's behavior hurt him more.
Que el comportamiento de ella le dolió más.
That's it? Okay. Do you have the rip done? Do we know what he wants?
The rip has not been done, Your Honor, and I could reach out to Conrad, see if he can complete it.
Okay. Ms. Maldonado, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Tell me, are you a United States citizen?
No. No.
Are you in this country with or without permission?
No, sin permiso.
Sí, tengo caso con migración, pero
Yes, I have an immigration case, but
no,
Yes or no?
sí o no?
no.
No.
If you go to jail
Si usted va a la
and
cárcel,
immigration finds you in the jail, they will put a detainer on you and you will sit in custody until this case is done. And then you will be shipped off to immigration without the ability to get out.
en la habilidad de poder salir,
That is what you have waiting for you if you end up back in custody.
esa.
I'm putting conditions on your bond now, ma'am, and if I find that you violate these conditions, if I find that you're a danger to my public, then I'm going to put you in custody. And if you're unlucky enough, you're going to be there for a very long time until
Tiempo.
who knows when.
Ahora Dios,
Do you understand?
¿lo entiende? Sí.
You are not to have contact with this person.
Exacto, con esta-
I'm ordering you not to have any kind of contact with him and not to be in possession of any weapons. A protective order has been issued in this case. You need to get to know it because if you violate the protective order, the state will file additional cases and additional charges against you.
casos.
And then it really goes bad extremely quick. How old are you, ma'am?
¿Qué edad tiene usted, señora?
28 años,
28 years old.
What do you do for a living, ma'am?
ama de casa.
I'm a housewife.
Do you have any kind of income?
¿Tiene algún tipo de ingreso?
No,
No.
Do you have children?
¿Y tiene hijos?
sí.
Yes.
How many children do you have?
¿Cuántos tiene? Two.
Tengo 4, pero 2 en Honduras y 2 aquí.
I have 4, but 2 are in Honduras and 2 are here.
Menores de 4 años.
And 2 are under 4 years old, right here.
Okay. Did you want to apply for an appointed lawyer, ma'am?
¿Quiere entonces aplicar para un abogado de planta, señora?
Sí, uno de oficio.
Yes.
All right, let me see. I have one already, actually. So I'm going to have you sign a reset with Victoria, and then we will have you take a seat in the jury box.
Yeah.
Do not leave until you sign our bond conditions. And ma'am, heed this warning. You will not get another one.
lo vas a recibir
Don't become a danger to my public,
a mi público.
okay? Come on. No. So don't worry about it. We can reuse this one.
Conteste a voz alta.
Okay. Apellido, por favor.
Torres Guardado.
Page 29.
Thanks. Okay, Mr. Torres, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. It's elevated to a Class A misdemeanor because of the high blow. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
The officer observed the defendant run a red light and a traffic stop was conducted. The officer observed signs of intoxication, namely a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage and red, watery eyes. Standard field sobriety tests were conducted. HGN, 6 out of 6. Walk and turn, 8 out of 8. One leg stand, 4 out of 4. The DIC was red, and the defendant consented to breath. The results were 0.190 and 0.199.
Can you run his NCIC to see if he has any priority to the eyes, please?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Torres, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Tell me, are you a United States citizen?
No.
Are you in this country with or without permission?
País con o sin permiso.
Sin permiso.
Without permission.
You go to jail and immigration finds you, they're going to put an immigration detainer on you and you will remain in custody until these proceedings are over with, and then you will be shipped off to immigration without the ability to bond out. If you do not want that to happen, do not violate these conditions. You do not have a Texas driver license, therefore you are not allowed to drive. Do you understand? Mr. Torres, I don't give a rat's behind what your excuse is. If Mother Teresa needs a ride to church, I don't care. If I find that you drive, I can have a contempt hearing and you can be facing up to 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. I am also ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs, and you will be randomly tested. If I find that you're consuming alcohol and I don't care where from, likewise, you will go to jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes.
You have been given one warning before. This is your second case here now. You're not, and you will be not, you're not going to get any more warnings. Do you understand?
Yes.
Did you want to add something? Okay. We are going to have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive any vehicles. I will have you sign a reset. And then after that, you'll get with Felicia for your bond conditions. And then after that, you're free to go. When you come back, please have a lawyer. Okay.
Next, Spanish arraignment.
Ay, ay, ay.
Page 25.
You said,
Ramirez.
caramba la bamba.
It was 3 with the turkey. 2 without. No.
So let's, how many more do we have?
That's good.
Ramirez.
Okay. What page?
25. Ramirez.
Good morning, Ms. Ramirez.
Hi, good morning.
Ms. Ramirez, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
Yes, Judge. The officer was dispatched to a driving while intoxicated. As the officer observed, the defendant failed to maintain a single lane, drive 20 miles per hour in a 45-mile-per-hour zone. Traffic stop was conducted. The officer observed signs of intoxication, namely strong odor of an alcoholic beverage emitting from the vehicle, and the defendant gave inconsistent answers as to how many drinks she had prior to driving. Standard field sobriety tests were conducted. HGN 4 out of 6, walk and turn 4 out of 8, and one leg stand 2 out of 4. The DIC was red and the defendant consented to breath. The results were 0.08 and 0.08.
So you said all she had was an odor of alcohol? Or
Yes, Your Honor, there was a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage from the vehicle and on her person. And then she gave inconsistent answers. She did state she had consumed drinks prior to driving, just inconsistent as to how many. And the officer also observed a failure to maintain a single lane, as well as her driving below the speed limit, 20 miles below the speed limit.
All right, Ms. Ramirez, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Do you have are you a citizen of the United States, ma'am?
No, sir.
Are you in this country with or without permission, ma'am?
I had it, but not no more.
You know what happens if you go to jail? What happens?
Go to immigration then.
I'm sorry?
The immigration will take me to Mexico.
Right. Do you have any clue how long you will sit in jail waiting for that to happen?
No, sir.
You're so behind, you will probably sit in custody for about 9 months, perhaps more, waiting for any of that to happen. And if you want to bond out from an immigration jail, 15 grand, 20 grand, just don't violate these conditions. That's all we're asking. Don't drive. You don't have a license, do you?
No, I don't.
You're not allowed to drive. You will be signing an affidavit with me today promising me you're not going to drive.
I had my driving license before. I had it.
She had a driver's license, Your Honor, just she couldn't
It's
renew it.
gone.
Correct.
You don't have one now. Just because you had one 5 years ago, 2 years ago, if you don't have one now, you can't drive. Doesn't matter. If you show me that you have a valid Texas driver license, will happily let you drive. But until you do, you can't drive. Can you run your license, Alex, please?
Yes,
Do you mind?
I'm
And
showing
then-
that it says eligible on our end.
Do you have a license?
License, driver
A
license.
Texas driver license.
I had it, not at this moment. Well, it's not valid, but I had it before.
It expired, Your Honor. It wasn't taken away from her for any violation or anything. She just
No.
couldn't renew it.
Right.
No, they're showing it's valid, but I don't know. I wouldn't get into a car unless you 100% know that you do. And I would probably call DPS to find out, okay? Because if you go out there and you start driving and you get pulled over, officers will see that you're charged with DWI. It could be a recipe for disaster. So you have to know 100% before you do or not. I'll give you the number to the driver license division where to call, but that's what I would do. So I'm going to order you not to drive unless you have a valid license and insurance, though. You must also have insurance as well before you start driving.
I always have it with me.
And Judge, just to confirm what counsel said, on the driver's license I have, it says the expiration date is November 22nd, 2009. So it does appear it's just expired, but it's not due to any suspension or anything like that.
So it's expired.
It's expired. So
Okay, yeah, then you can't drive. Here, for what it's worth, I will give you this number. You can call them. Perhaps they can tell you how to get it back if you can. If you show me that you have it and you can get it, I'll take this off, okay? But don't drink. I am ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs, and I'm going to randomly test you. Do you understand? Alex? Any prior DWIs?
No priors, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, Ms. Ramirez, you have a lawyer. Good job having a lawyer. I will waive your appearance. You don't have to waste your time coming to court, but you must stay in touch with him and he'll tell you when you have to come back to court.
Okay.
If he tells me he can't get a hold of you because you're not responding to his phone calls, I will issue a warrant. So just don't drink, don't use drugs, and don't drive until you have a license, and then we're all happy. Okay? Okay, please. We'll have you sign this, sign that, and that, and then you guys are good. You are Dante Daniels.
Sir.
Mr. Daniels, are charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. The officer was dispatched to a single vehicle crash in Harris County, Texas. Upon arrival, the officer only saw record drivers on scene and asked where the driver of the vehicle was. A witness, a record driver, pointed out the defendant, and the officer observed the defendant walking away from the scene of the accident. The officer asked how the crash occurred, and the defendant stated he was driving and did not realize the street was a dead end. The defendant also had the car key fob in his pocket, and while speaking to the defendant, the officer noticed an odor of an alcoholic beverage. The defendant admitted to drinking at a nearby bar, and standard filter sobriety tests were conducted. HGN 6 out of 6, walk and turn 3 out of 8, one leg stand 2 out of 4. The DIC was read and breath was consented to. The results were 0.123 and 0.125.
Mr. Daniels, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to the case. Do you have a valid Texas driver license, sir?
Yes, sir.
License. Do you have valid liability insurance in your name? Then you're not allowed to drive. I'm making that a condition of your bond until you have, at the very minimum, liability insurance. If you can get it and you show me that you have it, I'll take this restriction off. As it stands, I'm ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. You will be randomly tested. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or any kind of illegal drugs, you will go to jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. You are on a very serious felony probation. Once they learn about this, it's just a matter of a while before they file a felony warrant, and then you're really going to be deep. You know what? Did you see? He's on the bird.
Yes, Judge, I've already notified the felony prosecutor.
I'm going to have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive until you have insurance and court approval. I'm going to go to Victoria where we will have you sign a reset. You need a lawyer and you need to get one lickety split because I'm telling you, it's just a moments before they file a felony warrant on you, man. After that, you'll get with Felicia for your bond conditions. And then after that, you're free to go. All right. Ability to post an immigration bond, let them know. Good morning, Mr. Hodges.
We're gonna run out of time if I don't get to some of the good ones on here. We got a few really good ones we want to finish up on, and it'll take a little while to get through those.
Could you run an NCIC on him, please? What all does he have open elsewhere?
Yes, just I'll run it right now.
And then if you can refresh my memory with regard to our case as well, please.
Yes. Regard to open cases, it appears in Galveston, he has an open UCW, a DWI, and a collision involving damage to a vehicle equal to $200.
It says an FSGI, DWI, and a UCW.
Yes, Judge. And then in regard to this case, the officer responded to a criminal mischief and made contact with the complainant, where the complainant stated he woke up and realized his tree had been ran into. He checked the surveillance and observed the defendant's motor vehicle colliding into the tree, traveling at a high rate of speed, and observed the defendant appearing to get out of the motor vehicle, walk in front of the vehicle, then get back in. And the officer later observed tire marks damaged on the landscape leading up to the tree, damage to the bricks around the tree, as well as damage to the tree itself, leading to a damage approximately $200 for the grass and bricks and $2,500 for the tree.
And this is like, it's in the middle of the night, right?
Yes,
right. Okay. What would you like?
Judge, I'm asking the driving condition and the curfew. I get it, it sounds bad, but Judge, he's unable to work. He's an electrician. He works throughout the night sometimes.
Well, I don't want you out in the middle of the night, Mr. Hodges. You have 4 open cases and you're out. You already were given one chance when you got on bond for those 3 cases out in Galveston. Now you've picked up another case in the middle of the night.
Are we able to lift the no driving restriction then, and maybe do 5 to 10 p.m.? It's just the 6 to 6 kind of interfere with his work schedule, like I said, but I understand completely not wanting to drive at night.
What's the curfew now?
I think it's 6 to 6.
It's 9 p.m.
Oh.
No, I don't do that bad. It's 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. What do you want, Mr. Hodges? I'm not giving you in the middle of the night. I'm telling that you now. You have 4 open cases. 2, this is a potential DWI. So it's really a DWI and a second DWI. And you want me to let you out in the middle of the night?
Okay, we just lift the no driving restriction, Judge. Because it's daytime from.
Can you run his license?
Yes, Judge.
It's not eligible, but he has an ODO.
Yes, I'm saying not eligible.
He has an ODL license, Judge.
Did he have an interlock in his car at the time when he got here?
I don't believe so.
Then I'm not going to do it because he's supposed to have an occupational always needs an interlock.
It may have.
You're
Judge.
you're violating your.
But did you have an?
You're supposed to have an interlock as part of the occupational license. You're in violation of your occupational license, you know?
It may not have required that, Judge. Because I'm not on the Galveston case. But
Show me, do you have a copy of the occupational license?
I can't get you one.
Show it to me. Let me take a look at it and then we'll see. Mr. Hodges, just take a seat for me momentarily. Okay.
I have the granting of the occupational driver's license. The reason it didn't require interlock is because he had it prior to this. He got it for tickets that were unpaid because he didn't have insurance. He has current active insurance. I have the ODL right here.
Who gave it to him? Is it a JP court?
Yes.
Can imagine knowing that he has that open DWI in Galveston and knowing that he has now picked this case up here where it has an alcohol. I can't imagine that they're going to let, you know.
Right now it is still active. So are we?
I don't know how comfortable I feel with him driving. Are you Mom? Come on up, Mom. Come up, Mr. Hodges. Thank you so much for coming. How's it been not driving?
Not enjoyable.
Blows, right? Good. Wonderful. Because I want you to understand, it is a privilege. It's not a right. And we do everything in our power here to ensure that we don't kill anyone on the road. Watch the news. Every day, someone dies on our roads because of an alcohol-related collision. It's disgusting. And you're familiar with everything that he has open.
Yes, I also am familiar that one of my husbands was killed on the road by someone that was drinking as well.
It's disgusting. It's so sad, you know? And I took his privilege to drive away because of what's going on with Galveston. And now here we have the same situation here. They didn't charge him with DWI here, but very well could have been. And so the idea is to get you to appreciate it, to really feel the pang of not being able to drive, because I want you to realize it is an absolute privilege, and it is a great privilege. And to live in a city this big without the ability to drive really, really blows. That's just it. And I don't know if you really appreciate it. You coming up here and just telling me, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm hurt. That's not enough. I need to know that you really do appreciate the fact of how big and powerfully awesome it is to drive. I'm not ready yet to let you drive. I need to see some kind of proactivity showing me that you really appreciate being able to drive. But as it stands now, it's been 30 days since he's had this case here open. He's got the 4 cases over there. And I can tell you now, the judge that granted that license, if that judge now knows all these cases are open, I would bet my pinky toe that that judge would revoke that license now. Because I don't think any judge wants their name on a license with that kind of baggage to it. So I'm sorry. If you need more time at night, I'm happy to give you a little bit more time past 9 o'clock.
It's not so much, excuse me, it's not so much the night, it's where he works being an electrician. He has to be there earlier in the morning. So
okay, I'm happy to work with you. You want 5 in the morning? What time do you want?
5 would be better.
Okay, done. I'll give it to you. Show me that you appreciate the fact of driving.
How do I do that?
Use your imagination. Be creative. Ingenuity goes a long way, Mr. Hodges, but you coming up here and tell me, oh, I'm so sorry, does nothing for me. Actions speak louder than words, and it's only been a mere 30 days since you picked up this case, and not to mention all those other cases that you have in Galveston County. So you are traveling far and wide, and the danger to the public is far and wide as well. I don't want anyone to die under my book, and I don't want anything under my name with that kind of, I don't want that kind of baggage in my life. I have a hard enough time sleeping as it is. Show me, and then we can talk again. But I really want you to appreciate it, and I don't think you do so far. Okay, thanks. All right. So Felicia, if you can just from 6 to 5, please. Thanks. Hi.
So he really thought that judge was going to let him out at night to drive around. I don't know. Did they say he had 4 cases or was it 2 cases? I heard 4 at one point and then I heard 2. So I don't know. Maybe it was 2 DWIs and a couple other cases. I don't know. Anyone know the moped laws in Texas? Can you get around with that without a valid driver's license? Tokyo, I don't know. It may be an engine size. That's what it is in most places. If it's over so many, I think it's 55cc or something, you got to have a license. But I don't trust him driving a moped with that many cases open.
Good morning.
I'm approaching on Noah Bison.
Okay.
This is set for bail review today. It was also set on Friday and it got rolled to today.
She's here.
She is here. Her bond was revoked and raised last week due to her picking up a criminal trespass. So she does have 2 ankle monitors on right now, and we would just be requesting that one of those come off. Obviously, she knows that she's not supposed to be within 200 feet of Stereo Live, which is the bar that she was trespassing at.
What I don't want is I don't want her out in the middle of the night. And that's why we have that on. And I'm paying for everything, so nothing is going to come out of her pocket. Come up, Ms. Bison. She had the open DWI, just doing whatever she wants to do. And now she picks up another case out in the middle of the night. Nothing good happens at 2 in the morning. And I don't want you out in the middle of the night. And the only way that I can enforce that is with the ankle monitor. Because if I take that off, you can run amok and I have no idea what you're doing, where you're going, and what's going on. I'm like I said, I'm paying for it, so it's nothing out of her pocket either. I take cost off of everyone so that it's never an issue. I know that and I'm sorry that it's uncomfortable. Well, I'm not really sorry, but actions have consequences. You now see, and I'm going to tell you, you violate conditions again. Get ready for that bond. It's going to sprout legs. It's going to be, you understand? Show me after a while that we can trust you and perhaps we can talk. But you're just now getting out of jail after violating conditions over and over. Thanks.
Understood.
Okay.
Thank you.
So you're now out of jail. You have a lawyer. It is your responsibility to stay in touch with them, and they will tell you when you have to come back to court. If they tell me they can't get a hold of you because you're playing games, you're ducking and dodging, you pick up a 3rd case, violate conditions again, there goes the bonds. Do you understand? Okay, stay in touch with them and they'll tell you when you have to come back to court. So I'm going to waive the appearance so that she's whatever you guys need.
Thank you. And she did just complete IOP, and then she is planning to enroll in SOP prior to potentially entering into any other program that the court might have available. So
yeah, it's up to you guys, whatever, I'm just here. I just want to make sure that she's not out and about and continuing to party. According to her, she wants to go to school for this. She wants to go to school that. If you really how old are you, ma'am? You have something that I can't buy. I have money, right? I've got a ton of money here, there. Steven's got a lot of money, babe, but you got something that I can't buy. You got something Bill Gates can't buy. You got something that Jeff Bezos can't buy. Do you know what that is? No. Age. And the reason is, all those guys would pay an arm and a leg to be able to take back time to have age. But what matters is what you do with the age that you have. If you do nothing, it's a complete waste. If you're going to school and if you really care about the future, then you're going about it all wrong by continuing to pick up cases, partying, going to a bar and refusing to leave the bar because I've got to wait for my drink. This life is a journey. It can be a great journey or it can be a rotten, miserable journey. And as a young woman, you should never, ever have to realize or depend on a man. You should be getting your education. You should be getting degrees. You should be getting knowledge so that you never have to rely on a man. Men suck. Men are dogs. And you need to be able to rely on yourself, because if a guy says that they're going to take care of you, great. But one day they may never be there. One day they may take flight. And if you don't have an education, if you don't have a career, if you don't have knowledge, you'll be destitute, penniless, always dependent on a man. Don't. Become a strong woman with knowledge, because then that life becomes a great life. Because this life is only about one thing. This, the almighty dollar. And if you don't have this, you ain't got shit. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So get your knowledge. Stop picking up cases. Once that age is gone, don't come back. Thanks.
Your Honor, my client does have class from 5 to 9, 6 to 9, my apologies. And I know she has a curfew right now that is imposed. Would the court be amenable towards pushing that curfew back a
Absolutely.
little bit?
Show me proof that you're in college or that you're in class and that the class goes at that time. I'll happily give you time to go home. Of course. Yeah. But I'm not going to take your word for it. Show me that you're actually enrolled. You got like either a syllabus or whatnot, and then I'll, of course. I'm always amenable to working around a schedule for school. Of course. Just show me and then we'll do it.
We'll present her to the court.
Please.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Of course.
May we be excused?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
You guys filed conditions on Fuentes, but it doesn't have any of the complaining witness information.
I'll get the file that, I believe Conrad filed that.
Yeah.
What on the court?
Okay, so we have Mr. Gracia here who has an assault from April, now picked up a violation of a bond conditions by having the alleged weapon. Eric.
Yeah, Judge, so we were in front of you on Friday. You revoked his bond. He posted a new bond. They gave him a court date of today. I did send you an email this morning of the document that you requested regarding the address of his business. So you should have it now. We're hoping to modify the bond condition so he can return to his business. This case that he was filed, there's no complaining on there. It's just because the incident happened at his place of business, the magistrate put a restriction that he couldn't return to that location.
Okay, state of Texas. It's Conrad's case, but I don't know where Conrad is, and I don't know if you have.
Can we try to get him down here?
Sure.
Just
Of course.
He was unopposed on Friday when we were here. We were just trying to get a document with the actual address.
Do you want to maybe just email him so you don't have to come all the way down, just to see, hey, are you unopposed to him going back to the business? And then, Gracia. Okay, Mr. Gracia, just do me a favor. Take a seat over there. Don't go.
Sure, sir.
Let's get to this one. Let's get to this one here.
Gonna revoke it. 30,004. Did you get a response? Is he opposed?
So y'all listen to this in the chat and let me know if you think that she's telling the truth or you think she's full of it or what. She had an appealing story and it may have some validity to it. So let me know what you think think about this one. This one was interesting.
Let me check.
So
Here.
who do we have here?
Naomi Burnett.
Okay, so it looks like you're wanted somewhere. I don't know where.
Tennessee. Warrant was issued out on September 9th, 2024. Charges theft of property, 60,000 to 250,000, and identity fraudulent use of a
Oh.
60,000 to $250,000. Obviously be opposed to a bond. She already waived on November 20th.
Open local as well?
No, Judge.
Why did it get reset so much? Oh, it's carried. Okay.
So Ms. Burnett just told me that she's a victim of identity. So she's believing that this is just stemming up from someone else using her identity, different thing that she has no, and she did write a report on a few weeks before this charge came down on her.
So you're telling me felony capias and the 60,000 to 250 the property and the 10-count identity theft, a debit card of 60,000 to 250.
Yes. Go ahead.
Yes, so last year I already filed against Cash's bond. He stole my social. He used it to open up an electricity bill in my name. Charges against him regarding burglary of an habitation. And stole my phone, and he stole money from me. And he also, so I'm guessing these charges are from him. I've never been. I've never been to Tennessee.
No, well, I mean, this is that, you know, a lot of people tell me something.
I'm gonna hit mute there real quick and stop it real quick and talk about that. So she's arguing that someone stole her social security number and was able to rack up between 60 and 250,000 worth of bills. It's just hard for me to believe that someone would get 250,000 out of somebody just off of a lost credit card or lost social security number. And then the state of Tennessee says they got her on video with it too. I don't know, but you know what? She's got really pretty hair and it makes me want to believe her. So let's see where we go.
In fact, the sky is blue instead of purple. Purple. Man, this pig was and what? Pigs are pink. Yeah, man, this pig was blue.
I have proof of being in Houston on those dates. Whatever.
Hold on a second. I got to figure out what's going on with the audio on it. It seems like it's wanting to break up on it. I don't know. Let me see what we got here. You know, Donald, I'm working on a wig that looks like that. I'm trying. Let me see if I can cut up that audio real quick and throw it back on there because that is not going to work for me. I'm sure it's not going to work for you guys either. So, so we got Mountain Mover. Imagine having the boredom in life as that fella right there. Just ain't got nothing better to do than just roll out like that. So, just having a blast with life. I don't have that sort of time available to me, so I'm gonna roll with you, Mountain Mover. But I don't know how much longer you're gonna last in here. Let me look through here real quick. Depends on other records. She's claiming she was incarcerated at the time of the incident. If I'm not mistaken, in Texas at least. We need to be refreshed. All right, Tokyo, you give me just a minute. I'm showing you just how quick I can run up another video. It's already 40-something% done. So thank you guys so much for coming out. We're going to do Court Addicts at 8 o'clock tonight with ATX Alley. We're going to talk about drug stuff and kind of add some stuff in there. Just to give a different perspective. My son's home. I may try to sneak him in. I don't know what mood he's in. He may he may want to take over the show, or he may not want to talk for a month. Who knows what he does? Yeah. No, you didn't say anything that offended me at all. So I'm good with you. I'm good with you, man. You just keep rolling with your messages and see how that goes. We're gonna jump back into this one. I think I got it redone. Let's see where we go.
Hey, did you ever get her, Morgan? Did you? Forever. We need to get him done and out of here. On Gracia. Did you get a response? Is he opposed? In fact, the sky is blue instead of purple. Purple. Man, this pig was. And what? Pigs are pink. Yeah, man, this pig was blue.
I have proof of being in Houston on those dates. Whatever.
Okay. I'm gonna call it a loss on it because I just redid it again and it went there. I guess with everything going on today, it didn't record good. I don't have an answer for you guys. Let's see if we can try it one more time, and we may have to call it quits. It's been one of those days anyway. So let's see if we can get through it. It's only got 4 minutes, but it may not work out.
So I guess I could have you guys. We've given you a lawyer. She's manner that they can. I would suggest that you guys get together. That's a lot of baggage. That's
yeah. District attorney, we were pressing charges on him. So.
All right, I'm going to admit defeat on that video. I'll have it re-uploaded and redone and all that and ready for tonight. We'll throw it on as the intro for tonight's video. You guys got me on that one. There's nothing I can do with it. Mountain Mover, we do a show at 8 o'clock every night over on American Courts 2. Make sure to come over there. Make sure to come over there and check it out. We will get it going for you, and we will have a blast with you. I can't wait for it. And if you want to get on our Discord, it's Tokyo Gaijin. You look it up on Discord, Tokyo Gaijin, and jump on that Discord. He'll have a blast with you. Can't wait to have some discussions. We'll see you guys later on tonight.